Hello and welcome to Sport Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Let's quickly look at some stories this evening, and we'll begin from the cricket, from the Nigerian Cricket Federation, and we'll go far away, Malaysia, where our team, the Nigerian Under-19 girls, touched down in that country for the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup. Yes, they had a 10 days training camp in India, and they had two strong international friendlies against Scotland and Pakistan. They gave it their best. They lost to Pakistan, but they learnt a lot in that game. And then against Scotland, they defeated Scotland in that warm-up match. And the coach, Sarah Bhakita of Kenya, is saying yes, she's upbeat ahead of the World Cup. And Nigeria's first game will be coming up tomorrow against another debutant, Samoa, right there in Malaysia. And for the Nigerian cricket under-19 team, they've actually shown resilience during the qualification series. They showed team spirit, zeal, that fighting spirit, that Nigeria attitude of never say die attitude with the girls. They gave it all and they were able to qualify for the ICC Under-19 Cricket Women's World Cup far away in Malaysia. Like I said, they will be up and running. The competition starts tomorrow and Nigeria will be in action. Let's look at the schedule. That is the Nigerian roster, the roster for the games, for the girls. We'll see that match. They will be playing against Samoa, against New Zealand, and South Africa. Let's have it on the screen. For the Nigerian cricket girls, like I said, they start against another debutant, Samoa, who are also a debutant like Nigeria. And that game will be played early hours of tomorrow morning. That is around 3:30 a.m. West African time. That is what beside it. You're seeing it there. And then on the 20th of January, their second game, that will be on Monday. They will be playing against New Zealand, another strong game that will be playing in that group. The same time, their first game will also be played 3:30 a.m. And then their last game against one of the top countries when it comes to cricket in the world and on the continent of Africa. They are number one. South Africa on the continent of Africa. They will be battling it out with South Africa on 22nd of January 2025. But that game will be 7:30 a.m. West African time. So they will play this one early hours of the morning. So against South Africa. So for the Nigerian girls, yes, the coach, Sarah Bhakita, she is a Kenyan, assisted by Blessing Etim, former Yellow Greens captain, who started playing cricket. That is for Etim now. Since 2004, she was discovered in secondary school, and she played almost 65 games for the Nigerian Yellow-Green women's team. So let's see how these girls, their first game matters. The coach is talking tough. We can see the squad on the screen. We have Adekule Shola, we have Agboya Peculiar, we have Ahigbe Anointed, we have Amusa Kende, we have Basi Deborah, we have Benny Jessica, we have Chukunonye Christabel, we have Egwakun Omo Shigo, Igbenedion Victory, Lucky Pite, who is the captain, Meme Naomi, Ogua Beauty, Ude Lilian, Umo Inyene, and Usain Peace. That is the Nigerian squad. Let's see how these girls will take it all out. They are quite young. They are young girls. Yes, at the end of the day, let's see what they can do. Their first game against Samoa, early hours of tomorrow morning. Keep that date, keep that time. You will not regret keeping late night to watch these girls do their thing on the cricket over. Let's wish our girls well, and when coming back from that tournament, probably they might come with a trophy, or at least they should get to even not the final, at least semi-final stage of the competition. They are debutant. Let's leave that story and look at the nationwide league now. That is National League One, where the annual General Assembly by the organizer has been set for 30th January, and that communique, that circular has been sent to all state FAs for them to have it in mind that the Nation League One will be having their annual General Assembly on the 30th of January. So is to plan the season and see how the season goes. This is where teams are also being promoted to the Nigerian National League, NNL, before you play in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Just the way we have in England, we have the EPL, and then we have the Championship, we have League 1, League 2, League 3, and then we have the Southwest and whatever South Leagues in England. So we are also looking forward to see having a very good league in Nigeria where we can scout for young talents who can play in the under 17, under 20, and graduate to the Super Eagles. 30th of January, the annual General Assembly of the Nation League One will be going down. All right, for the Chan Eagles now, quickly, we'll look at the Chan Eagles. Yes, it was the course of the week. According to the president of CAF, that is Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motsepe, announced the postponement of this competition, the 2025 CHAN. The competition initially was scheduled to start next month from the February, but now it has been moved to August 2025. CAF saying that they are not ready due to some logistics reason. The stadium and what have you, a whole lot need to definitely it was at some point the country that was initially to host that was initially scheduled to host the tournament didn't meet up, and before Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda coming into the picture to host the tournament, but they have to put everything in place, at least give us a good competition. For the Chan Nations Championship is meant for players who are applying their trade on the continent of Africa. Those who are that is the home base Eagles now, who are playing for the likes of Eniba, Kano Pillars, Doma United, the Shooting Stars of Ibadan, Nasarawa United of this world. As far you are playing your club football in your country and it's in the continent of Africa, you are eligible to play in this tournament. That is one of the criteria to play in the Chan Nations Cup. So, but for the home base Eagles, they say they are disappointed with that postponement that is coming in from the coach. That is Daniel Ogumondede alongside Fidelis Ilechukwu. Both coaches are in charge of the home base Eagles. We know we now have a new coach, the new sheriff in town, Eric Chell, who was with the team after his unveiling. He flew after his unveiling on Monday. He was right there at Ikene, that is the Remo Stars sporting facility, where the team were camped for the particular competition. But right now, the players will return to their various clubs to continue the second stanza of the Nigerian Premier Football League, which is going to commence the last weekend of this month, January, and then see how after the league they will assemble together again in preparation for the competition in August. So let's see how it goes. But the players, the coaches, and everyone is not happy for the postponement after putting so much, after preparing well for the competition. Nigeria is in the same group with Senegal, that is in Group D, and Senegal, they are the defending champions of the Chan Nations Cup. So let's see how it goes. August, that competition will be up and running, and the Chan Eagles, that is Super Eagles Team B, home base Eagles, will also be taking part in that competition. Still looking at our national team, this time around we switch gear to the women's side, though we don't have any local, that is Chan Nations Championship for women yet. I think CAF is still looking forward to see how they can also create the women's version. But now we are looking at the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Top striker Asisa Oshoala, a record holder who has won the most African, that is African Footballer of the Year for male and female, most times by any player. She has that record 6 good times. She has won the African best in the women's category, and no man also has ever won 6th African Player of the Year. So Asisat Oshoala is the only player holding that record. Now she's optimistic of Super Falcons' chances when the WAFCON, that is Women's Africa Cup of Nations, come calling in 2026. That competition was initially scheduled for last year, that's 2024, but due to some Morocco is the host, hosting a lot of competition and what have you. Now it will now be played in 2026. That is between July of 2026 and August of 2026. But Asisat Oshoala is saying yes, the Super Falcons will start preparation ahead of that competition, and she's optimistic that yes, it is our birthright to win the Women's Nations Cup, and they will do everything within their power to see how they will lift the trophy for a record 11 good times. So, but for the Super Falcons, they are the top nations when it comes to women's football on the continent of Africa. We saw what they did at the Olympics. Despite their group stage exit, they gave it all. The first two games against Spain and Brazil, it was fireworks before they lost 3-0, the 3-1 to the Nagashiko ladies of Japan, as they are called. So for the Super Falcons, when the Women's Nations Cup come calling, let's see if they will lift it. The men couldn't lift, but in 2026, it's going to be a lot of competition from this year to next year in the footballing world and other sporting events. And we know the Nations Cup for men will start December this year and run through 2026 January. So it's going to be a big one for us. Maybe when the men win a record 4th African Cup of Nations, the women will also go. And so it will be the first time that the male are the winners of the men's version and the women. So we are looking forward. Nigeria has what it takes to do that, and Asisat Oshoala is also sharing that optimistic. But let's leave the continent of Africa and quickly go straight to Europe. We know the leagues, the cup games, alongside some league games are ongoing in Europe, but the cup games are over now. Some leagues are back this weekend, and we have matches beginning from today. Matches will be played tonight, and we have those games on the screen. In the Spanish La Liga, Espanyol will be at home. They will be at the Catalonian city against Real Valladolid. Then in the German Bundesliga, there's one game. Eintracht Frankfurt will take on Borussia Dortmund. Then in Italy, Italian Serie A, Genoa will go to Rome and visit AS Roma in the Italian Serie A. And then for the French Ligue 1, that is French Ligue 1, we have two games. Montpellier against AS Monaco, and Luxley will battle Nice. All these games will be coming up tonight. Just in the top German Bundesliga, La Liga, Italian Serie A, and the top 4 leagues, apart from the EPL. We'll be having games in the EPL tomorrow, but for tonight, all of these games will be up and running in the other 4 top leagues in Europe. Let's quickly look at the NBA result now. It was good news for one team in the NBA. The NBA is getting interesting. That is Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, it was, and they came back for revenge against the Cleveland Cavaliers in that game. Last season, it was a thumping, and at the beginning of this season, from the Cleveland, they defeated Oklahoma City Thunder, but this time around, it's a payback time as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually produces a dazzling performance. He was instrumental in that game against the Cavaliers in a very crushing victory. You can see the result on the screen. The 26-year-old contributed 40 points in 29 minutes. Indiana Pacers defeated the Detroit Pistons by 11 points, 111 to 100 points there. The Washington Wizards 7 points better than it's a mix-up in that one. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, like I said, they were totally whitewashed by the Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder, where Shai Gilgeous was instrumental. Out of 134 points for the Thunders, Shagilos contributed 40 of those points, and then Luxent Dots got 22 points, while Jalen Williams added 19 points to 134 points for Oklahoma City Thunder against the Cleveland 114. And then the LA Clippers also demolished the Portland Trailblazers 118 to 89 points in that game. And then for Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings, it was a fight to finish. And the Sacramento Kings, at the end of the day, ran away with that point. 132 points for the Kings, and the Houston Rockets shot all their rockets. But the Kings, because of the crown on their head, they were able to run away with that victory in the NBA. So the NBA is getting interesting and interesting. Now let's quickly look at some transfers on the show before we go. Yes, we'll look at this particular one where Leeds United target Kelechi Iheanacho. I want to advise you, Kelechi Iheanacho, from Source Updates on Trust TV, you better jump at this particular transfer, because he has not really had it rosy in Spain. He's playing with Sevilla in Spain, but it's really been a very hard one for Kelechi Iheanacho. He was bought with injury, but after coming back from injury, he has not really shown the stuff he's made of. And I believe if Leeds United, they are in England, it will offer him the opportunity to come back to England. Definitely, I believe, from my own point of view, you should come back to Leeds United, at least start from the Championship, and probably help Leeds United just the way you help Leicester City get promotion back to the EPL. So Leeds United target Kelechi Iheanacho as their new striker. Definitely Leeds needs a new striker. And then yes, the big one this afternoon, the big man himself, they call him the monster in front of goal, Erling the Pain, Erling Haaland, extended his contract with Manchester City to stay until 2034. So for Erling Haaland, is a big one for the man who joined from Borussia Dortmund in 2022, and so far so good for the Sky Blues of Manchester. He has scored 111 goals. You heard that, 111 goals in 126 games for the club since joining in 2022. So his contract right now is a mouth-watering one, the highest paid footballer in the colours of City, and then definitely until 2034, when he will also be 34 years of age, he will still be with the Man City. But there is a release clause embedded in that contract, and probably, maybe just before then, he will be finding his way out of Manchester City, or just sit there and run down his contract and probably see what he can achieve with Manchester City. All right, the last one this evening. Also, this man has been in Manchester. He is a role model to a lot of persons in England and in the city of Manchester and the whole world. They call him the babyface assassin. After leaving football, he decided to venture into coaching, and he was sacked. Ever since he was sacked from Old Trafford, he hasn't coached anything, but now he's back to the dugout. But this time around in the Turkish Super Liga with Besiktas, he signed a 3-year contract with Besiktas just this afternoon. So for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the babyface assassin, we will be seeing him on the dugouts with Besiktas in the Turkish Super League. So for Solskjaer, let's see what he will do with Besiktas, who are among the top 10 in the Turkish. They are 13th on the Turkish Super League table. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show Sports Update this evening. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.